Hey guys, I'm Greg. Welcome to Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today, guys. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today we're going to start our KBS series, guys. I bought some of these beers many years ago and quite a few of them have been sent to me. So we're going to start off, we're going to do a bunch of these in a row. I don't do verticals anymore, these big monster beers that are 11, 12, 13% anymore side by side. Too much calories, too much alcohol for this old man. So we're going to do back to back probably. We're going to start off with the 2010 edition that I bought. And back then, these beers were so rare and so hard to get. You put your name on a list when they were coming out, and you were allowed to have one. I only get to have one. So, I don't know if it's that way now anymore. I don't stand in line. I don't search for these beers anymore. I used to when I was younger. But I don't anymore. They're just not worth it to me to stand in line for a couple hours to get your hands on one of these beers. I don't do it anymore. If that's the process you got to go through, they can stick it up there, and that's what I'm talking about. So, with that being said, a lot of these people are telling me, my subscribers are saying, oh yeah, here and close to the brewery, they're still sitting on the shelves, but it's not that way around here. You either got to have your name on the list or be there when the day it shows up, and even then, if your name's not on the list, you don't get any. And if you are on the list, you get one. So, I mean, I'm not a fan of the way that's distributed. I understand if somebody comes in and wants to buy everything they've got, they don't want to do that. But yeah, at least say you a 4-pack of it. Come on, give me a break. One. So, anyway, it is what it is. I'm not a fan of these cult followed beers where you can only get your hands on one and got to be on the list to get it. They're not all that. Trust me, they are good beers, especially this beer from this brewery. They are tasty beers, but not worth the hassle to get your hands on it. That's just my opinion, guys. So, with that being said, let's see what the 2010, and I bought this one, and only got my hands on one. Had my name on the list, or it was either there the day that it showed up, and got my hands on one. So, and I put it in the fridge, and I've reviewed some of these beers. I don't know if I reviewed the 2010 or not. I didn't go back and look at which ones that I had reviewed over the years. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to review each one in sequence. We're going to start off with the 2010, then we'll go to the 2011, then the 2012, and then 2013. If I've got one of each one of those beers, I will review it back to back till we get to the freshest ones that I've got. So, with that being said, this is the 2010 edition. So, and of course, as you all know, when you go to Beer Advocate, they clump them all together. No matter what year it is, what vintage it is, or what ABV it is. They put them all in the same category. That's why I hate Beer Advocate, guys. They say this beer is 12.3%. One of them may have been. This one is not. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're back there in the shower taking a dip because their information is useless a lot of times. So, that's as friendly as I can be about it. I think Beer Advocate's review site sucks. It does. And rate beer is even worse than that. That's why I stopped using them a long time ago. So, let's jump over to Untapped. They're more up. They have the 2010 here listed here, and they say it is 11.2%. And that's what this has on the label, is 11.2%. So your information is more accurate, more up to date most of the time. They're saying it's a 70 IBU beer, but it doesn't have a commercial description other than saying it's no longer being produced by the brewery. Of course, they do it every year. And they're not doing the 2010 anymore. Imagine that. So, this is the 2010 edition, and I've had it for a long, long time, guys. We're going to say it's approximately, I don't know when in 2010 they did it. I probably could find that information, but I don't waste my time taking that out. If you do, go ahead. You can search it out and find out whether they did it in January 2010, July 2010, at the end of the year, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It's irrelevant to me. I could care less. It is a 2010 vintage, and it is an Imperial Stout. So those beers are going to keep no matter what part of the year. Well, we do have the vintage, and that's all basically we need. But we do have the ABV and the IBU listed here for this beer. So we got all three. 2010, we got the ABV at 11.2, and we got the IBUs at 70. So without further ado, let's get it open and get it into the glass and see how well this approximately 9-year-old beer has settled. So, like I said, I've got a bunch of these, and some of them I bought, and some of these were sent to me. And we're going to do them year after year after year until they're gone. Because I don't have any beers that's been sent to me. So we're going through the cellar and fridge and the closet, and we're going to get rid of them. And if nothing else is sent to me, there will come a time where the daily beer reviews will stop. Not much head, just barely covering the top of the beer. Good looking beer. And I'm a big fan of this series of beers, but I'm not a big fan of jumping through hoops to get it. Good looking stout. Very good looking. Very dark. Very nice. Usually very well done from this brewery in this series. To the nose we go! Very nice bourbon notes. Rich roasted malt, hints of some black molasses, maybe a bittersweet chocolate, but the bourbon notes are still prominent after 9 years. Very impressive. Smells awesome. I haven't had a stout in probably a couple of weeks now, guys. I was so far ahead on the beer reviews, I stopped doing beer reviews for a couple of weeks because I was so far ahead. And I was just drinking my go-to beers every day since then, and not doing any beer reviews. So this is probably the first one I've done in a couple of weeks, but y'all still seeing them every day, and we're catching back up to where they are. And I'm only going to do one of these a day. So, smells awesome. Smells very, very nice. A little bit of caramel toffee going in there with the black molasses, but the bourbon notes are still very strong. Yeah. Smells awesome. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. That's a very tasty beer, guys. If you can get your hands on these beers, these are great beers to drink fresh or to cellar, whichever you may choose. And depending on the availability and what you can get your hands on, around here, you get one. Some other places you can buy as much as you want. If you can buy as much as you want, buy a 4-pack or even 2 4-packs, and do a vertical if you're a young buck and you're allowed to do that. I'm not anymore. Still trying to lose weight with my heart attack and everything, and can't have a lot of these big calorie beers, which this is. But I do enjoy a nice, well-made bourbon barrel stout, and this is very nice. The bourbon notes are there. They're tasty, but they're not off the chain at this stage of the game, this being 9 years old. A fresher bottle may have stronger bourbon notes than what I'm getting from this, and we will find that out as I go from 2011, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, up to what I have here. So, still very nice, very pleasant beer, an excellent beer to buy, guys. Very impressive beer, a great final beer of the evening, which it is for me. So it's very tasty. We're going to sip on this. It's right out of the fridge, cold, and we'll let it come up to room temperature, and we'll come back and do the final grade and the final chug and all that kind of final stuff, and see where it ends up. But I do like this series of beers from Founder. The KBS and their CBS are very, very sought after beers. So, very tasty. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it for a while. It's up to room temperature. Very tasty beer. The bourbon notes are a little faded now that it's 9 years in the bottle. I find these beers a little heavier on the bourbon notes, fresher than what the 2010 is giving me right now. Still a very enjoyable beer, a great beer to buy and drink, fresh or cellar. But the bourbon notes are not off the chain like a lot of the beers that are bourbon barrel aged are, especially the age on this one. And if you say, oh my God, that's the 10 beers best I ever had, I wouldn't argue with that. But right now, with the beers that I've reviewed and what I am drinking in this glass from this bottle, which is the 2010, very tasty, very enjoyable, definitely an A beer, but not a 10 beer to me. When you, like I said, if you say, oh my God, that's the best thing I ever tasted, I wouldn't argue with that, guys. I've had better tasting, bigger bourbon note beers on fresher beers. And as I go through the series, once we get up to the fresher beers, they might end up getting the 10. But right now, on this one, not quite there to me. It is a great beer. It is a good selling beer. But the bourbon notes are there, but they're not off the chain, guys. Honestly. Smells good, tastes good, a very enjoyable beer. Very pleasant beer to drink, guys. To me, 98 from me. A plus. Well, A. It's A beer, not an A plus. A plus would be a 10. Not quite there to me at this stage of the game. And as like I said, as I go through the series, some of those may get up to the 10 as we get to the fresher beers. We will see. We'll try to do the 2011 tomorrow. Let's see where that goes. Or the next day, I'm not sure when I'm going to review that, because I have some go-to beers, and I haven't been uploading as many as I have been, because I haven't been sending anything recently. So we're getting these out of the fridge and the closet, and celery fridge and the closet, and going through these. So 98 for me, guys. That's why I'm going to give it a 2010 KBS. Over to Beer Advocate, they clump them all together. They don't even have the right ABV for the 2010 because they don't differentiate between the years and the batches or whatever. But they have it at 100. And not quite there to me. And over to Untapped, they do have the 2010 edition listed specifically, and they have it at 4.48, which is great numbers, and it's about where I would put it. Especially if you've had it recently and a beer that's this old. Not quite a 10 to me. Just my opinion though, but it is pretty close. It's a 98. It's a great beer to buy and to stock. So if you can get your hands on any of these, wherever you're at, it's a great beer to drink fresh. You're going to get big, more prominent bourbon notes more than likely than you are one that's cellar, but it's still there. It's very tasty. I enjoy these beers. So, with that being said, if you've had the 2010 recently, let me know what you think until we meet again. Let's see what's in the fridge, and we're going to try to get to 2011 real quick. Next, probably. See you then.